It's on the. Ah! He made it! Oh my!
Soccer up next on FDN Sports. I'm Preston Husband alongside Zachary Sparks. Second game for us here on FDN Sports. And we've got a good one in store for you here tonight. Grace College in town, the number 4 team in the nation, sitting at 11-2-1, taking on the home Huntington Foresters at 5-6-1. Zach, what can we expect out of tonight's matchup?
It's going to be a good game. You're going to look for a couple breakthroughs here and there, but all around I see a lot of possession by both teams. Really look for the counterattack as well on both teams when they turn over, because both teams like to attack fast and vertically. They don't really go out wide a lot. They just like to get downhill and attack.
And that will be exactly what Grace is looking to do here tonight. They have had no issue scoring goals this year, but they also don't give up many. And we talked about this in the last broadcast we saw when Huntington was victorious 2-0 over Taylor. But this team has been a little up and down, and right now an upset would give them a little more consistency in tonight's match.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where one game could turn your season around, and when you knock off a 4 team in the nation, it's just a huge momentum swing, and you can ride that into the upcoming games, finish a conference good, and look towards that conference tournament.
So we will take you to a short break, and then we will be right back for kickoff between the Grace Lancers and the Huntington Foresters on FDN Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to stand at this time if you are able. Bow your heads and remove your hats as we pray. Please remain standing after the prayer and honor America in the playing of our national anthem. Lord, we thank you so much for the beautiful weather that you have brought to us this evening. We thank you for the safe travels of the visitors from Winona Lake. We ask that you would be with the players and the officials tonight on the field, that you would keep them safe from injury, and that you would help them to honor you in all that they do. We ask that you would be with the coaches and the officials and give them wisdom and discernment in all of the decisions that they are making. Be with the fans, help us to honor you in all that we do to support our teams tonight. Thank you for this opportunity to honor you in playing soccer. Amen.
Preston Husband on the call tonight for some more Crossroads League soccer. And as mentioned before, it's going to be a good one here in Huntington, Indiana this evening. We'll jump right in the starting lineups for the Huntington Foresters. Starting us off, João Ratinho getting the start tonight. Bernardo Coelho is out, so Reed Zamansky slides in. Igor Barbieri will get a start as well. We saw him score in our last broadcast against the Taylor Trojans. Dilesh Patel out of Bolton, UK, has done a nice job in his his junior campaign. Cooper Foshi, the defender, and Kleffer is out tonight, it appears, for the Foresters, so a couple of changes in the lineup. Coven Drenth has played more of the defensive position as well. as of late, having to push back on that back line. Owen Leland, Colton Foster, Luis Costa in goal. Sam Dolo-Bapu off to an incredible start in his collegiate career. And also Nathan Lemon getting another start. And of course, the Foresters, coached by Coach Russ Lawson, over 20 seasons here for the Foresters. And for the Grace Lancers, the number 4 team in the country, Mateo Conchi has started every single match in goal for them this year. Daniel Santos Rosa, Johnny Mora, Antonio Lubo, Gavin Morgan, Dan Allen, Juan Garcia, Martim Sincara, Song Lee, Frederick Chrisman, and Daigo Lapsh. So we'll do our best with all those names here tonight. We did get a pronunciation guide before, and feel free to comment on YouTube if we are messing those up, and we'll do our best to change it. But now we're ready for kickoff between these two sides. The Foresters looking to get back on track. Grace looking to stay atop the table. It's the Lancers in their red kits going from right to left on your screen, and the Foresters in the black and green kits tonight underneath the lights at Kings Stadium. And immediately you're going to see João Ratinho's new cut in the middle of the field, changing the hairdo up, gives it off to Sam Dolo-Bapu, and the Foresters want to run early. Work it down the left side. Big interception there by the Lancers immediately. They play very steady defense as they're one of the top teams in the country, and that's a big reason why they're 11-2-1 on the year. They're coached by Aaron Patrick in his 5th season with Grace, 2020 national title. He was the coach of the year that year, and originally he's from Grimsby, England. So, of course, a really well-constructed soccer nation. Now he brings his talent and coaching skills to Winona Lake. And Zach, as you can see early, Grace is going to want to use possession and try to attack some of those open spots in this Forester defense.
Yeah, it's going to look a lot like the Foresters did against Taylor. Just a lot of possession in the back and then wait for the gaps to open up. You probably won't see him trying to force a lot where it could get counterattacked. A lot of possession, easy passing to break down the defense.
Allen sends a looping ball, and able to head it away was Szymanski, but then it's handled again by the Lancers. Going to see a lot of Sincara tonight. He leads the team with 12 goals. That's who played it over to the right side. Now it's reset on the back line. Foreign influence for both these sides, but especially Grace, as a lot of the players on this Lancer side coming from England, Colombia, Portugal, some players as well from Germany. So you'll hear a lot of different nations represented in this match tonight, and that's what soccer is really known for, even at the NAIA level. Morgan pushes it ahead. Garcia will play it right back to Morgan on the back line. The defender, the senior, wearing number 5 out of London, England, will try to hold down the Forester attack. Ball ripped towards the 18-yard box. Drenth able to settle, plays it out towards Sam Dolo-Bapu, but that back line pulling high for Grace cuts it out.
If you're the Foresters, you have to stay in shape. If you have any defensive breakdown, Grace is good enough to exploit it immediately and attack right through it.
Santos Rosa getting some touches on the left side with Garcia. Grace will try to work it around the back once again. It's a chilly night. It's been raining most of the day here in Huntington, so as we talked about in that last Taylor match as well, the surface could allow for some slips and skips, and we'll see if that has any influence tonight. Ratinho trying to run that one down, but backs off. Barbieri's playing more on the left side here tonight with Ratinho starting alongside up top. Ball driven in by the Lancers. Drenth plays it forward, and the Foresters maybe a chance to run here as Dolo-Bapu's the lone Forester ahead. Tracking it down was Gavin Morgan. Plays it right back to his keeper, Conchi, out of Vervo, Italy. He's had a tremendous campaign here in his senior year. 14 matches, 14 starts, over 1,200 minutes in goal, only 12 goals against, 2 shutouts, and 40 saves on the year. So tough player to sneak one by if you're a Forester attacker tonight. But if you do look at the Lancers, Zach, on the year, their only losses have come on the road. So maybe the Foresters can take advantage of a home field advantage here tonight and see if they can upset the Lancers.
If you look at this game last year, Grace had a pretty good season as well, just like they're having this year, and the Foresters battled right to the end with them. So expect a lot today. Both teams seem to come out and play very well against each other.
Ball looped in. Dilesh Patel chases it down. He's going to try to swing one in from the right side, looking for Dolo Bapu, and it's played out. And that'll be the first corner of the night, and the Foresters will have a chance to maybe break the seal here early.
For the Foresters, you have to take advantage on these. Don't necessarily have to score the first one, but you want to at least get something positive from it that you can look to attack later in the game when you get the next chance.
They'll have Patel take it from the corner. He's got 4 assists on the year, leads the team along with Dolo Bapu. We'll see if he can create a chance here immediately.
Grace has nobody else up. They have 11 players in the box.
Patel from the flag, rips one in, good chance. It's knocked away by Conchi, falls down, and a little bit of an ambitious attempt there by Lemon, but Coach Russ Lawson loves to see his team at least have a chance to put it on net. That time just a little too high.
Just as I was saying, put it right on the keeper, made the keeper have to make a good, quick decision, and he did it very well. Pounded it away and put it in pretty much a no danger zone where it couldn't get put right back in, so good from both sides on that.
Conchi showing how he is one of the best goalkeepers, not only in the Crossroads League, but the conference, is able to push away that first attempt of the night for HU. Now Grace will be back on the attack down the right side. Slide tackle by the Foresters comes up empty. Ball into the box. Costa was backing off his line. It looked like flying in there was Sincara. He couldn't get to the end of it, ran out of room, and it's off the side netting.
See if they look to exploit that backside run. Good chance right there. Unlucky on that one.
Sincara is a dangerous player with 12 goals and 3 assists on the year. In his 14 matches played, 63 shots with 33 of them on goal, so he's ready to rip from anywhere. That'll be the man to watch on Grace's side tonight, but they've got plenty of players that can hurt you. See Barbieri get his first touch. Drenth tries pushing it up the pitch, and it's played out in front of the Forester bench for a throw-in.
Foresters to look to be counterattacking at this point. Not a lot of possession like you saw in the Taylor game. That seems to be Grace's mentality more than the Foresters tonight. So we'll see how that goes. Throughout the game they take that, or throughout the game they're going to try to switch it up.
Sam plays it on to Ratinho, who still has it here. The right side of center. Lemon back to Zhao down the right side. Zhao rips one in, cross the 18-yard box. Barbieri rose up, couldn't get a touch on it, but the Foresters do keep it on the attack. This is Leland now. Plays one over to the right side. João Ratinho, the Portuguese, has had a great year this year, trying to add to it. And the defense of Grace able to knock that back, and settling on it is Dan Allen. This one played ahead quickly. Foshi with that skip off the wet grass, able to play it just enough to read Zamansky, who now plays it ahead to Dolo Bapu, who uses the strength. Sam's best when he's running towards goal, and Zhao tries to play him in but runs out of room, as that's the first really good chance for HU.
If you look at the Foresters lineup, they have 5 on the back line tonight. So you'll try to see a lot of the, especially outside backs between Lemon and Leland try to come up, but when the center backs get it with space, you'll look to see them climb up the field just like Reed did right there and try to find somebody.
And you said that counterattack is going to be crucial. That was maybe not a full-on counter, but just putting that pressure against that back line is going to open up some chances if you can get out and running with your midfielders.
Yeah, if you look at the possession right now, I mean, they have 2 on the halfway line, and that's about it. So in the event that they make a crucial turnover, you want to see, if you're the Foresters, you want to see a quick attack. If you're the Lancers, you want to see everybody get back as a whole.
Mora can't handle that one on the left side, as Morgan played a touch a little too heavy. Now Lemon will throw it in. The Foresters are a little short-staffed here tonight. Several injuries throughout their starting 11, but that's not an excuse for Coach Russ Lawson and their side. They would love to get a result out of this match. You know, you don't play for a draw, but this would be a big confidence boost if you play with one of the best teams in the country and at least come away with some type of result in this match. Morgan continues to push it ahead for Johnny Mora. No card, Indiana, and it's played off the foot of a Forester defender for another throw-in. Mora plays it in quickly. Patel knocks it away, and Grace can't keep possession, and Patel, a little bit too big of a touch, drops it back to Allen, who will reset on the right side. Grace content with playing the possession game here tonight, looking for some missing spots on that back line with Kleffiker out. That's one of the most steady players on this Forester side, as that chance nearly is created for Grace. Instead, it's knocked out of there by Zemansky, who really hasn't had a lot of minutes, but stepping into a big role tonight, Zach.
Yeah, Kleffiker out tonight due to an illness, so we'll see him step up. And just like the story of all season, different looks, but there's no excuse. You have to step up and fill the gaps if you want to play in the future, especially, and he's done a great job tonight so far.
This one played in, a little bit of a tumble in the box, but Luis Costa steps out and easily makes the grab. That was Sincara heading towards that back post, and not enough in it between Drent and Sincara to reward a penalty there.
Second time this game already in the first 10 minutes of the game that they look to do a long cross across the box. So we'll see if that's the point of attack for Grace or if they're going to try to force stuff up the middle.
Barbieri was looming there, couldn't get to it. Foster heads it back to Drent, who is able to pick up possession for a moment, then it's knocked forward, and looks like it'll stay in play on that back line. That's Daigo Lapsch who's got it. Another Portuguese. Of course, that's one of the favorite spots for the Foresters to recruit. They've had quite a bit of success bringing in a lot of Portuguese players here in the past, and even now here in the future. Ratinho, one of those, plays it over to Igor Barbieri, who's from Brazil and has had a wonderful career at HU. A chance for Grace to pounce here as Barbieri does give it away. Morgan working with Mora. Song Lee will play it to the center back. That's Lapsch again. Every player on this Grace side willing to possess and take a dribble at the defense. This one's looped in again, headed away. We'll see who it falls to. It looks like Mora. Off to the left side, and a nice step on the right side by Lemon to force Grace back beyond midfield. Might just be those little interventions there that keeps a scoring chance away, and that time Lemon was up to the test.
Another long ball played. Cleared out by Leland to the feet of Barbieri.
See if Barbieri can get something going. He plays it off the foot of Grace Lancer. It'll be another throw in for HU. Barbieri continues to score here during his time at HU. We saw him with a breakaway goal, 1v1 off an assist from Sam Dolobapu. As now here's a big chance for Grace, and a foul is going to be called on Sincara there as he was trying to run that one down. Take another look at this. Zemansky battling hard. Sincara using that physicality. It looked like Foshi might have been there anyways, but instead the Foresters will pick up a free kick.
That's the counterattack I was talking about before the game. As soon as they have a chance, they want to break and go to goal. Good, well covered by the Foresters and a little too aggressive, but if you're Grace, you like that physicality.
And that's from their leading goal scorer, who's not necessarily a huge guy, but obviously has some strength, and he's already showing that here early as now they're back on the attack again. Looping ball to the left side. Lemon misses on that, and it'll fall down to Juan Garcia. Garcia and Sincara not on the same page there, and they'll try to reset. That was actually Santos Rosa who fell down, and now he's trying to create a corner. Instead, it's another foul on the back line by the Lancers. See Rosa just trying to chase down the Forester defender. A little too much on that attempt. And the Foresters, for the second straight possession, fouled by a Lancer, but really not anything in it, as Luis Costa's trying to add a couple of yards to this free kick. It's been a little bit of a revolving door in goal for HU this year. Not necessarily in a negative manner, just trying to play the right man in goal on the right night. Costa has had some good nights, and Pellegrini has had some good nights, but both of them have also had some tough tests that they didn't necessarily ace. So we'll see if Costa can handle this tonight as Dolobapu plays one over to the left side. Barbieri was just a few steps away, but a big intervention there by Lubo to knock it out.
Another counterattack chance, and seems to be the theme of the night for the Foresters, is not going to have a lot of possession against this Grace team, so got to take your chances when you have them.
That was a big chance there as Barbieri turned on the boosters, just couldn't quite get to it. Throw in, knocked away, and Grace will try to repossess through the middle of the pitch. The Foresters do a great job chasing it down as Drinth has possession. Over to Lemon, who now finds Patel. Delesh so tricky with some of those moves in the midfield. Dolobapu plays it back, and the Foresters doing a nice job possessing now in the Grace half. Patel loses that one on the back line to Lopsh, who plays it over to the right side, and they'll reset once again with Lubo. But still, despite not getting necessarily a look at goal there, Zach, that build-up play looked promising for HU.
Yeah, if you're the Foresters, you look at that and you think you're one pass away from making something out of it, and it's a big bright spot that you want to look at and talk about it throughout your team, and it's just a morale boost, just like you're talking about from both sides. I mean, if you're Grace, you look at it and you say, we're defending it well, and if you're the Forester, you say, look, we have something here that we can take advantage of in the future. Ball played across again, cleared out by Lemon.
Thankfully, Lemon's ready on the back post there. There's a really good touch down the right side by the Lancers and a chance to play it in, but no one else joined the attack there in the center of the box. And for the Foresters, they're glad to see that one, for now, head out of play, but back on the attack now comes Rosa as he cuts one towards the middle, left-footed cross. It was nearly going to be a bicycle chance there on the end. It is another shot at the end of it by Juan Garcia, but not enough on it, and the Foresters clear away.
Big chance there for the Lancers. Another ball played yet again across. So if you're the Foresters, you got to recognize that, got to make sure you're covering it, and they have so far tonight.
HU trying to just hold on here in these first 15 minutes. Now, I guess 17 minutes gone. But it's a good sign so far. Both teams have had chances. HU, a couple off the corner from Patel, and then Dolobapu almost created a 1v1 chance for Barbieri. You can't feel bad about the spot so far if you're either coach.
No, and if you're the players, you have to think on both sides that you are playing well and what the coaches, I would imagine, want. And you can't get frustrated, especially for the Foresters. I mean, you're not going to have the possession like you did against Taylor, and you have to recognize that, and you can't get frustrated because one simple mistake against this Lancer team can change the outcome of the game completely.
Patel with a good touch back to Lemon. As now they search for Sam Dolobapu. He drops it off to Ratinho, who settles it down and pushes it towards Barbieri. Igor's going to get on the end of that. He's got one defender to get by, swings a ball into Ratinho. He gets a touch on it, and it's saved away. Big chance for the Foresters, and Conchi was there to take that one away from the net.
Another huge chance for the Foresters, but you got to be careful of this counterattack, and handled very well by Colton Foster right there.
What a nice setup in the middle there by the midfielders for HU. Barbieri then just slotted one through for Ratinho and just couldn't quite get enough of that. If he was able to lift that one over the top, I think he would have beat Conchi, but it's that split-second decision by the keeper that keeps this one tied at the moment.
Great positioning from the Grace keeper. Came out of the net, that's pretty much, to make sure that the angle was cut down so they didn't have a clear shot, and it worked exactly how you wanted. But like you said, the Foresters have to be absolutely satisfied with what they got. Ball played in, finds the head of Reed, cleared out by Nate.
Lemon's doing a nice job on that back line as Sam pulls it down once again on the right foot, now cuts it through. Dolobapu showing off some skill as he does lose the touch and now goes over to Igor Barbieri. Barbieri pushes it back towards Dolobapu and tried going straight back to Igor. Those two playing a little 1-2 touch, but it runs out of room.
Confidence has to be building from the Foresters. I mean, chances you've almost got good chances out of everyone right there. Just like Preston mentioned earlier, one touch away from making things happen, so gotta be confident.
Dolobapu is such an interesting player because he's such a huge guy, but also has so much skill, and that's just not a combination you always see a lot of, and that's got to be something that Coach Russ Lawson feels pretty comfortable about Sam Dolobapu weighing down the midfield for the next 4 years.
Absolutely. He looks to be playing up top tonight, and imagine it has to go in with his size up top. It's going to be hard to knock him off the ball. So when you do look to a counterattack, you need to make sure you have somebody up there that can possess the ball. And with his size, strength, and speed, it looks like it could be a good combo up there.
And that's some of the versatility that you have with Dolobapu. He's usually kind of in a midfield spot, but as you point out, he's up top tonight, and he's trying to go score some goals.
Yeah, versatility seems to be the theme of the night, as Grace has a chance right here.
Big chance for Rosa. He pushes it over to Juan Garcia. Foresters do a nice job backing off the Grace attack as they'll reset through the middle. Another chance, Rosa, first shot of the night. Really anywhere near the goal for Grace, goes a little wide, but a good chance for both sides now.
Both teams seem to be settling in and showing the other team what their game plan is for the first half at least. Both teams seem to be defending it pretty well, so we'll see how this game goes.
If you look at Daniel Santos Rosa out of Germany, he only had 10 shots on the year coming in, but he was willing to take that one very comfortably and confidently, but could not connect as Costa watched that one fly over. Patel and Drenth, 2 freshmen, as Coven lifts one up and out of play. He was looking for a diagonal run there from Ratinho, just couldn't keep that one on there. Zhao went full on buzz cut this week. It's got to be a little cold out there tonight, Zach. I know you and I are shivering up here.
I'm pretty cold, but they're also moving on the pitch, so they got something lucky for them as we're sitting here standing, hands in pockets.
Talking about soccer as we're 20 minutes into this one. And both sides have had really good chances, but the only goalkeeper tested so far has been Conchi, and he is 1 for 1 on the test tonight. Seems like the Foresters are even somewhat content with Grace possessing right now as that back line continues to move further back. Ball down the left side, ripped into the center of the box. Foresters knock it away, and it's a block from, I believe, a Grace player that kept that one off frame. I think Sankara was in front of that one as it was a steady shot right on goal, just couldn't get through.
Lucky break for the Foresters, and if you're the Foresters, you have to find your shape again. You can't let something like that happen. Ball played in, off the post, and in for the Lancers.
That's what we talked about, some up and down goalkeeping play this year, and Costa just unable to comfortably handle that one, and it leads to an easy goal for the Lancers. Sankara adds to his total, now up to 13 on the year, and Costa trying to applaud his team, but that's one that he probably will remember for a while as he just couldn't get that one off the line. Forester fans being silenced by Sankara for a moment, but the Foresters will have to dig deep and find a way to at least get one here tonight. Back the other way, aggressive tackle on the right side in front of the Forester bench. And that'll put a little break in the action, but of course we don't want to target the goalkeeping at all, but that has just been a question mark a little bit throughout the year for Coach Russ Lawson, and that's just one he might feel comfortable with Costa punching over, just because it's one of those in-between balls. Do you catch it? Do you punch it over? And that time it cost the Foresters. But they'll have to dig back as now Grace is trying to attack again on this left side. Long ball played forward, headed back to the center for the Lancers. The Foresters do get possession with Drenth, but it's another Lancer who steps in. Ratinho back the other way, trying to work with Patel. Foul called, and the Foresters will have a free kick. Martin Sankara continues to score goals at will for the Grace Lancers, already at 13 on the year. Chance to get to that 20 spot in a collegiate season is quite remarkable. Patel working hard, and it's knocked out of play by Delesh. And it'll be another throw-in for the Lancers.
You can see the Foresters almost just dropping, letting Grace have the possession in their own half, which hasn't necessarily been what they've done all year, but it seemed that they like something better than what they have against this Lancer team.
We'll see if the Foresters can find a way to attack back. Just one goal so far, but these Lancers, they find a way to keep the foot down on the pedal, and they'll put you away if you let them. And really, the defense has been quite sharp for HU. Just one mistake on the back line, and in goal, I should say, that has the Lancers up right now. Forester faithful staying with this team right now as they continue to play the drums, and Morgan plays one out of bounds, and looked like he was blaming Garcia, but just not the right connection there by those two. Lemon elects to go towards Ratinho. It's kept in play and played forward, and once again the Lancers keep possession as Sincera was trying to turn on the speed there and run it down, just couldn't get to it. Foshi plays it forward. Patel finds Ratinho. Ratinho in the middle for Dolo Bapu, who turns back towards Barbieri and will go his way. Igor working against Lubo down the left side. Igor cuts it in. He's going to find Drenth. Overlapping run for the Foresters. No connection there. Ratinho looked to be onside. He had his second chance on goal, just didn't get enough on it. Almost think that one surprised him a little bit, like he didn't expect to be that open. Patel was ready to gather the second shot, but an easy save right at the net for Conchi.
Yeah, awkward angle, hard to really put power on that, so if you're Ratinho in that scenario, you just want to redirect it. But it looked like he couldn't get power or the redirection, so just kind of kept it in the line and maybe picked up a little pace, but not enough to beat the keeper.
It almost looked like Ratinho could have taken a touch there and then fired one past Conchi, but like I said, I think he was surprised maybe that he was that open on the back line.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at that and against this Grace team, you just almost can't imagine that you'd be that open, so you think you have to play quicker. And, I mean, communication there would help a lot in that scenario, but it's just one of those things that when you're not there and you're not the person doing it, it's hard to imagine what he was thinking in that scenario.
Absolutely, and that's a spot where we've seen Ratinho score from before. It was on his off foot. It was our first time volley, but Ratinho, I think if you ask him, would tell you he's scored most of the time from that area. We'll see if he has another chance. He already has two as he's trying to create one here against Morgan. Easily handled on the back line by the Lancers, but that pressure just making Grace maybe a little uneasy on the back line.
Just making them think. It's almost like a jab in a UFC fight, just to make your opponent think, not necessarily do a lot of damage. Just making them think about it so they don't get too comfortable.
Long ball sent forward. Sincera trying to run it down again. Costa comes out, and this time very confidently grabs that one.
Long ball seems to be the story of the night for both teams, and just trying to break one out, but both teams have so far defended it.
Costa will try to find Ratinho, who is able to get a little bit of a touch on it. It's lost in the middle by Foster, and running out of room is Lubo on the right side. Colton Foster, another one, maybe benefiting from some of these injuries for the Foresters. He started a lot earlier in the year, kind of saw his spot drop, and now back in there starting tonight in the midfield. And as short-handed as the Foresters are, it's all hands on deck as Drenth is able to knock that one out for a throw-in, and we'll see our first sub of the night, and it'll be Sincera, the goal scorer, who takes a seat. And coming in, Josh Cruz out of Goshen, Indiana for Grace. So the leading goal scorer takes a seat, but Cruz does have 3 goals on the year. Really solid player, just a freshman forward. So off to a promising start in his young career as well.
I believe he played high school soccer with Coven Drenth for the Foresters, so those two seem to be battling tonight. We'll see who gets the upper hand out of those two.
Bet they're glad to see each other, but also a little bit of bad taste in their mouth as they're playing on rivals. But they'll have plenty of battles throughout the next 4 years, as I'm sure at the end of the day it'll be friendship for them. Right now, the Foresters, though, down 1-0, would like to try to level this one up before the half. Just 16 minutes remaining in this first half of this match against the number 4 team in the country, the Lancers.
Lancers swinging sides yet again. Look for that long ball, played on the ground up to the top of the 18. Lancers not really forcing anything, which has been very good for them tonight, just letting it come to them.
Garcia continues to work it. That one stays in just on top of the line. And now back in the middle of the pitch for Allen. Allen and Lubo have had a lot of touches to one another as the Foresters start to get some bodies loose on the end line. Another chance here. This one's just lasered in there. I don't believe that was a shot by Garcia, but maybe just trying to see if Costa was ready for a low skipping ball on the wet turf.
One of those that you play on the ground and maybe a deflection. And if you're Costa, you just, anything like that, misdirection, it's almost like hockey. You just get something and you're going one way and you have to go the other. Hard to do, so maybe that was the idea there. Mishit, maybe looking for a cross.
We have seen a few players slip tonight, so maybe that wasn't Garcia's full intention, but that's how it played out as Ratinho pulls it down in the midfield. Patel goes to Dolo Bapiu, who's able to keep possession, works it back towards the midfield line. There's one of those slips as Sam loses possession, and that's exactly what we were just talking about.
Second time he slipped tonight. He slipped earlier on the Ratinho shot that was saved when it deflected outside the netting. Came back onto the field, excuse me. He went to regain and slipped on that too.
And you talked about the different cleats that these players wear. You have to imagine they came out with their rain cleats. I can't remember what you called them.
Grounds.
Soft
yes.
grounds.
Yes.
I would assume they came out here tonight with those, knowing that it probably rained close to an inch here today. Just still too slick for some of these players to keep their balance throughout this first half. Cross ripped into the box, running it down, and running out of room there was Garcia as that went over the end line. That's still that long ball, and it's like that diagonal cross that is giving this back line for the Foresters a lot of chances to try to chase it down, but also opening up the play for the Lancers.
Just like the Ratinho shot that was saved. The second one, it's one of those things where you're that close, you either want to be able to generate power or direction. And the Lancers seem to be giving the players the power, so all the player has to do on the shot is just deflect.
Another chance for Grace to build up. Foster able to knock it away and then does a nice job to keep possession as advantage is played, and now it's a free kick for HU.
Very physical game so far, and seems to be the good kind of physicality. Not too much, not too little. Both teams getting a couple fouls here and there, but nothing blatantly disrespectful or anything.
No, nothing's been really like chippy here tonight. I think that could happen later in this match, as that usually happens in Crossroads League play. As Dolo Bapiu tries to run it down, he does have possession within the box. Ball played across. It was deflected by the Lancers. Ratinho runs it down right at the corner flag, able to keep possession and still has it. Ratinho into the box, ball ripped towards the center, and it's knocked out for the Foresters' second corner. How in the world did Ratinho get through there?
Looked like a magic trick if you ask me. Ball was there, ball wasn't there, and ball was back with him.
It's like he had a magnet or a string on the ball, and that chance there from Mora, he thought about sneaking that foot in, but Ratinho, a wise midfielder, would have thought about maybe going down as Conchi catches Patel's second cross of the night.
Second one that's gotten to the keeper. If you're the Foresters, you have that person in front of the keeper to try to not necessarily let him get to the ball. The first one is okay because all he did was be able to punch it out, but you never want to have the keeper catch it. That's just a wasted opportunity right there.
So the Foresters, two corners yet to have a shot on goal. The first one created a better chance. That one an easy catch for the Italian in goal tonight. But the Foresters continue to add a little pressure. One goal that they may feel like was unlucky shows the scoreboard. Grace up 1-0. Another chance for the Lancers as they'll pull this one back towards the midfield and play with that back line attack once again, as Morgan has had the ball a lot right here in front of us.
Look for that long ball. I bet that's what they're looking for, just swinging it around. Letting the Forester defense break down is what they're looking for, not forcing anything.
Coach Patrick coached at Goshen before coming to Grace, so he's been in the Crossroads League for quite a while and clearly has started to become one of the powerhouses within the country and the conference. And he's got to be happy with how his team have attacked the Foresters tonight, as they'll have another chance here down the right side. Speed and strength, and that one stays in as Costa was able to avoid a Grace corner. That looked like a sure corner, and Costa doing a smart job and a good job by opening up his body and keeping that one in play.
Yeah, Costa seems to have forgotten about that first goal. That's a good thing you want as a keeper. Short-term memory. You want to remember the good ones, forget the bad ones, and you just got to learn from it on that.
Foster doing a great job keeping that play alive as Barbieri plays it forward to Dolo Bapu. He's hit from behind, and this is going to give HU a good chance on a set piece. Sam maybe didn't have the most contact he's seen all year, but did a nice job at least drawing the attention of the official. As he stays down, the Foresters will try to set up a free kick and a set piece to try to tie this one up with 10 minutes left in the first half. Leland and Dolo Bapu hovering around, and now Dilesh Patel will join. What do you think HU's thinking here on this free kick from about 30 yards out?
My guess is you're going to try to put it about middle of the box with some power, so all you need is the deflection. You want to put it on frame so the keeper still has to think about if it goes through normally, but also you want the deflection there.
Patel does lift one in. It's headed away off the front line. Foster pulls it down, rips it towards the 18-yard box. Patel now plays one back forward, and Grace has a chance to counter here, but Ratinho with a big intervention knocks it away.
That's the versatility of Ratinho, as you said. Normally plays up top, but today he has to drop back to a mid and looks to be playing it very well. Grace with the counter down the right side.
Lancers showing that speed once again, and that's been one of their weapons here early, Zach. They get that missed opportunity from the Foresters, and boom, they're back on the other side. But HU does do a nice job getting all 11 men back on defense. I think anytime I talk to Russ Lawson in a pregame meeting or emailing back and forth, he wants all 11 men back on defense on the counterattack. And I think HU has done a nice job here tonight doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those where you don't want your players to think about what position they are. Yes, they might supposed to be up top, but in the scenario, you know, they can't be up top. You have to drop back, and you always have to be ready for that. Can't be complacent.
Garcia tried working down the left side. He ran out of room, and that will allow for the room on the bench to open up a little bit, as the Foresters are going to swap in 4 players.
Lancers seem to be subbing in 3 as well, so different. Looks to be a different midfield coming out for the Foresters, some new legs, as Ratinho seems to be moving up top, and in for the Foresters in the midfield seems to be Ruiz, Camara, Costa, and that last one is,
I think it's Pedro Borges as well. So yeah, several midfielders coming in and maybe just adding some fresh legs here in the last 8 minutes. Several of these guys have started throughout the year, so you're not losing anything off the bench right now, as Ratinho picks it up in the midfield immediately. Borges goes to the right side. Camara trying to run it down and create a chance fresh off the bench. Camara rips one back line, and it's goal!
Offsides, and I believe it is called.
Offsides called on the right side, as Camara delivered a perfect ball across the face of the goal. It was Thiago Costa just into the game, and that one is not going to be allowed by the Foresters. That had to be a tight window. I just don't know how you can call him offsides there. He looked to be perfectly on line. Costa on that backside, and the Foresters thought they had tied it, and now all that momentum stays with the Lancers. Would love to see that replay again at the next stoppage if possible, just to see how close it truly was. Of course, we're not going to get the perfect angle down the line, but it looked like the Foresters were definitely onside. Take a look at this replay again. I mean, the defender is right alongside Costa. I think that's the wrong call there. I think the Foresters maybe missed out on an opportunity. We'll never know for sure, but that one hurts if you're on the Foresters side right now. And for the Lancers, it may have looked like he was offside. Well, guess we'll never know for sure. Big call for those linemen down the sides. And of course, they can't be perfect, but that one was potentially a glaring miss and a big matchup for the Foresters. Grace will try to take advantage of that, as they've already scored one. Just over 5.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Zach, I wouldn't say this has been a performance dominated by Grace. The one mistake by Costa in net. And really, I think HU has created more quality chances here through the first 40 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. But bottom line is it is 1-0, unfortunately, to the Lancers. And if you're the Foresters, you have to be confident. There's a foul there on Borges. Going to get a talking to from the referee. Don't know if it'll be a card. Just explaining that you can't use the forearm as an elevation or make any contact outside your normal body to any part of the player, especially towards the head area. But as I was saying, unfortunately it is 1-0, but if you're the Foresters, you've got to go in the locker room, and hopefully you get one or two back here. Don't let anybody in, but if you're the Foresters, you have to be saying, like, hey, we have the chances. It's just a matter of time before one goes our way, you know?
Long ball sent forward by the Lancers, but going to run out of room as Josh Cruz was trying to run that one down. A lot of changes for the Foresters. We thought they had made an immediate impact, but still have a chance to put their fingerprints on this game with 4:30 left in the first half. Even though it didn't result in a goal, the subs came in and Camara and Thiago Costa connected nicely, and we'll see if they can do that again here before the half or later in this match. Grace continues to be content with possessing on the back line. Foresters playing a deep back five really on the back line tonight as they continue to tinker a little bit with formations and players. Talk about Jonathan Ruiz coming in. He's seeing more of a minute tick up, you could say, throughout these last few matches. So Russ Lawson just still trying to find his best 11 here, and sometimes it takes to the last few weeks of the season to do so.
Ball played out. Looking for the counter down the left side to Costa. Thiago there.
Costa can't quite run it down as it's played off the back line from Lopsch. And that'll open up a chance for the Foresters to maybe attack as they're back in Grace territory. Borges, looping ball over towards Camara, finds the foot of another Grace defender on that back line. That's Flavio Cruz, who's freshly into the game. And Grace will try to work back the other way. Looping ball in, and the Foresters can't catch that one cleanly as that foul is called by the linesman down the right side of the pitch. And that will keep the clock running here with 2:40 left in the first half. Update you on some stats in this match. The Foresters and Lancers with three shots, I should say. HU has 2 on goal, 1 on goal for Grace, and that was the goal scored a little earlier in this first half. But the Foresters have forced 2 saves, just unable to sneak one past Conchi quite yet.
And the glaring one, when you look at that, is the offsides, and it is none for the Lancers. And unfortunately, maybe a mistake by the referee, maybe not, but 1 for the Foresters.
Yeah, we'll never be able to get that angle as mentioned, just because it's awfully hard to set up cameras down both sides of the pitch, but we'll do our best to bring you all the camera looks here tonight, as it looks like the Foresters maybe had a goal disallowed that should have been one, but they won't make excuses, and they'll try to fight back into this match as we're nearing midway through this match between the Lancers and the Foresters. It's a busy day in Huntington University Athletics. The Forester basketball team with a scrimmage earlier today. They'll kick off their season, I should say tip off their season next Saturday against Grace Christian. And the women's team will be in action here at Platt Arena on Thursday as well.
Another long ball played by the Lancers to switch the point of attack.
Chance here for the Lancers to attack maybe a couple more times before the halftime whistle. This one lifted into the box. Foshi does a nice job knocking it away, but only to the top of the 18. Lancers had a chance there, and the Foresters fine with launching it down to the other side of the pitch. 50 seconds remain in this highly competitive first half between these two sides. Two teams, different realms of the table at the moment. HU just trying to find some room to go in and maybe score one. Probably not before the half, but at this point, maybe in the second. One final chance here for the Lancers. Looping ball in the middle. Foshi rises up, heads it away. Lemon steps up, plays it forward. Ratinho up ahead, and that's Camera trying to run it down. Morgan will go back to Conchi. I would assume he's ready to blast away, and he does just that. Towards the Foresters bench, it'll fall down as Ruiz pokes it forward, and that will take us to the half. It's 1-0 Grace. Highly competitive back and forth half, but for the Foresters right now on the wrong side of the scoreboard. We'll take it to a break. We'll come back with stats, and we will talk to you on FDN Sports here in just a few moments.
Hello, and welcome back to FDN News. I'm your host, Anna Boald. This past weekend, homecoming festivities took over the campus. FDN's Sadie Sondag joins us live in the studio with the details.
Homecoming was buzzing with excitement, with students and alumni alike enjoying the activities hosted by the university leadership. This year's homecoming was packed full of 2 days' worth of events organized by the Alumni Office, Residence Life, SAB, and other leaders on campus. The university planned events to include alumni and current students for a fun and memorable weekend.
Part of the aim was to try to provide some program that might encourage more students to come to homecoming events and so forth, just because sometimes I think there's a thought out there for our current students that homecoming is only for alumni, and in reality it's really for current students too.
On Friday, there was a Forester tip-off at the Platt Arena, which included a scrimmage with the men's basketball team and the women's basketball team, a three-point and dunk contest, and the crowning of the homecoming court. Later that evening, there was an ice cream social in the MCA and a screening of Huntington University's first feature film, Wayfaring Stranger. On Saturday, the homecoming events continued with a festival on the mall, a baseball game with current students versus alumni, and the Powder Puff Championship. Before Baker Hardy's victory, during halftime, SAB unveiled the teams and colors for this year's Olympiad. The colors this year are coral, mint, teal, and silver. SAB member Abby Thomas explained the decision-making process for the color choices.
So the past couple years, we've had a lot of like base colors, like you got your reds, your blues, your greens. So we kind of wanted to take a little spin on that to make team building a little bit harder. So it's a little bit harder to think of a theme for coral than it would be for red. So we just took those basic colors and just went off a little bit just to make it more fun.
Homecoming weekend is just a warm-up for the busy month of October. Later this month is the largest student event all year, Olympiad. Live in the studio, I'm Sadie Sondag, FDN News.
Bad parking is grabbing the attention of students across campus. On August 17th, someone created an anonymous Instagram account called HU Bad Parking. The page showcases the worst park jobs around campus. It includes more than a dozen posts of cars on campus, featuring anything from parking over the lines to someone creating their own parking spot. The account has racked up 170 followers. The page is not affiliated with Huntington University. There's a new way for students to make money while on campus this semester. If you're a photographer or videographer, you can now get paid for shots of HU life. These pictures can range from shots of campus, shots during class, friends hanging out, res halls, and student events. Students have a chance at a $200 grand prize, or you could get $20 for every photo of the Office of University Relations use. For more information on how to submit, check out the link at the bottom of the screen. Now for a look at sports with FDN's Josh Thomas.
Thank you, Anna. The men's soccer team took to the pitch against Taylor this past Wednesday. It's a match with big implications for the Crossroads League tournament. On a rainy night, the Foresters entered the game in 6th place. Taylor right behind them in 7th. The first half was scoreless with strong defensive play from both sides, but things changed in the second half. With 27 minutes remaining, Sam Dolabapiu put a shot past Taylor's keeper to make it 1-0 Foresters, before Igor Barbieri scored another goal to seal the victory 2-0 for the Foresters. On the women's side of the pitch, the Foresters fell to the number 2 team in the nation, Spring Arbor, 1-0. Back to you, Anna.
A Japanese startup engineered a multi-million-dollar robotic suit. Sabame Industries created the 15-foot Arcax robot to be worn and operated by a human. This is the company's first product intended to help with natural disaster cleanup. The machine is controlled by 2 joysticks and 2 pedals located in the robot's torso. Inside the cockpit is monitors connected to 9 exterior cameras, giving the operator a 360-degree view of their surroundings. The company hopes to sell Arcax for $3 million. The world's tallest wooden building is being built in Australia. The skyscraper, known as C6, is made up of 42% timber. Wood was chosen in place of cement to produce less carbon emissions. Cement production is the cause of 8% of all CO2 emissions, and timber would be an eco-friendly alternative. The resulting construction is known as hybrid buildings. The current record holder of the tallest hybrid building in the Ascent Tower in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, standing at 25 stories. The C6 will beat that record with its 50 stories. That is all we have for today. Thank you for joining us on FDN News, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Oh, hello. On my recent caving expedition, I actually met someone who could help usher us into our second episode of the Treehouse. Stay tuned as we interview him and ask him about his professorship at HU.
I'm Adam Widener, and welcome to our Treehouse.
Well, and welcome to the second episode of Season 3 of the Treehouse. I'm very excited to introduce our guest, Dr. Brodegum, who is a history professor here at Huntington University. So please welcome with me, Dr. Brodegum.
Hey, everybody.
Right. You can go ahead and take a seat. How you doing today?
I am doing great. How about you, Sam?
A little sleepy, but hanging in there.
Yeah, I get that.
So you teach your classes a lot different here at Huntington. So a lot of people will do like their lectures, occasionally they'll have a test, but you change it completely. You like to do role plays, you give people characters, and you have them act out the historical event. What inspired you to do something like that?
I found out about this pedagogy 9 years ago when I was on sabbatical in the fall of 2014, and it fit with some things I had already tried to do, and I thought, this is great, I want to do this, and started in 2015 and never stopped.
Yeah, and being in those games, it was really, really fun. And I think that doing that, I think genuinely it helps the students engage more, and it helps them actually remember what happened. Like, I wouldn't remember anything about the bubonic plague unless I had been a character in that.
Yes. Did you survive that one?
I didn't.
Ah,
I didn't.
yeah, that'll help. That'll reinforce the old memory.
Yeah.
Dying of the plague.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does work. It really does. It's great fun.
It is. It really is. Speaking of fun, do you actually, like, do you have any fun memories from years prior of just, like, something that happened that you loved in a student's game?
Oh, man. Probably one of the first times, the first time I ran the French Revolution game, and a student was pretty excited and was yelling loudly about how the people of Paris were, and I quote, pissed. And I found myself both laughing and hoping that President Emberton wasn't walking by the doorway at the same time that was happening. But yeah.
Yeah, a little scary, completely
yeah,
understandable.
But great fun, great fun.
Do you have a favorite historical event, just in general?
Favorite historical, well, there's a lot to choose from, but if there's something I could go back and observe, I would like to watch Oliver Cromwell command his armies during the English Revolution. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a little bit of a curveball at you.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite medieval torture device? Anything that, like...
Favorite medieval torture? Boy, there's so many to choose from. But I sort of like the idea of drawing and quartering a person.
What's drawing and quartering?
Well, you get 4 strong horses, and you have 4 ropes, and you tie a rope to an ankle, another ankle, a hand, another hand, and you have the horses going the 4 directions, north, south, east, west, and they just start slowly moving apart. And the person kind of, comes apart at the seams, so to speak.
All right. Well.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. So you are retiring this year.
That's true.
You want to tell us a little bit about yourself, about your family?
I have a wonderful wife of 42 years. I have 2 grown daughters, 3 grandchildren that I love dearly, a great family. That's one of the reasons I'm retiring, so I can get to see those kids more, and then, great siblings on both sides. So wonderful.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really good that we have you here. It's it's an honor. You're a really good teacher, so having you on the Treehouse has always been a dream.
I'm honored. I'm honored to be part of the august group that has been guests on the Treehouse.
Yeah. Have you have you ever gone fishing?
Yes. I fish on vacation every summer. I've been fly fishing in the Northwest United States and actually up into Canada as well. So yeah, I know some things.
Would you say you're good?
Yeah, I'm awesome, pretty much.
How good would you say?
Better than you.
Would we want to figure out what's going on with that? Would we want to maybe put that to the test at some point?
I would love to.
We might be able to make that happen.
Okay, all right.
We might be able to make that happen.
Yep.
So, do you have any other planned games that we should know about?
Well, the plague game that you mentioned, my Civ classes are going to start that after fall break. And then, some games I've been working on. And then actually in the spring, I'm doing some fun stuff. Instead of a traditional upper level class, I'm going to do 3 separate games, one at a time. So anybody at HU that wants to take a game that hasn't had the chance, or somebody that wants one more chance, and they don't have time for a whole 3 credits, but they can do 1 credit, I'm your man.
All right. So we will do that.
Yep.
All right. Well, after the break, we will put this fishing thing to a test. So stay tuned.
We're back again. So there is a secret about Huntington. Behind Low Bryn, there's secret trails.
So this is the entrance to the first trail, or one of the many trails, I should say. So yeah, come walk with us, guys. These trails are maintained by the Horticulture Club with Dr. Hobbs. Every so often they come around here and clean it up, so yeah. All right, guys, we came to a fork in the path. So you know what that means. Time to split up. So it's not even a river. There's like nothing here. I have a confession to make. It's mostly dried up, which is really sad. But you should still come out here because then you can find things to explore. There is a body of water, Mason.
Great! There's water! Also, I just found this amazing cell tower in the woods. I found it! Anyways,
Back to the treehouse.
Welcome back to Kings Stadium. Halftime is over, and we are just about ready for the second half between the Grace Lancers and the Huntington Foresters. As always, we want to thank you for tuning in to FDN Sports. You have been listening to Zach and I all night, but we want to thank everyone behind the scenes for doing what they do best. We've got two great cameramen tonight, and everyone back in the studio as well, just killing it for us on FDN Sports. We've added a lot of new things to our broadcasts this year, and you'll see that more, I think, influence throughout the basketball season and volleyball season as that wraps up. But for tonight, we get back into the action between the Lancers and the Foresters on the pitch, and what an interesting end to that first half, Zach.
Yeah, absolutely. A very, to put it best, a controversial call on the offsides. And then, I mean, if you're the Foresters, you have to put that in the back of your head, but it will be incredibly hard to, because, I mean, to 85% of the stands and the people on the teams, it should be a 1-1 game, and that's a whole different game than when you have to play from behind against a team with such great caliber as Grace.
It's very demoralizing, but Coach Russ Lawson and his staff, as mentioned before the match, are down a lot of players tonight. And if you look at that, they didn't make that excuse, so they're not going to make the excuse for the officials either. And the officials are human. It's obviously one of the toughest thing to do to determine if someone's on or off sides. I mean, you turn on Premier League this morning, there's VAR checks at every single offsides call, it seems like. So it is a really hard job, and of course not to be blamed, but it's also just so hard as a competitor to stay locked in when you think you've tied the match in that scenario.
Yeah, and just like you said, we can't see it. You can't go back and see it. It's one of those things where it happens, and, I mean, you just got to go on from it. And you can do two things with it. You can harp on it, and it can ruin the rest of your game, or you can take it as fuel and then go in and make sure you put another one in and make sure they don't score to at least tie this game and make sure that the game is in your hands.
I want to apologize as well to the Grace listeners out there. I've been calling Antonio Lubo throughout that first half, so I'll get that right here in the second. Added one extra O on my call sheet, and we'll make sure that is fixed for you Lancer fans at home. And starting for Grace in this second half will be Conchi, of course, in goal. Mora, Lobo, Morgan, Garcia, Song Lee, Kyle Holwerda. We haven't heard a whole lot of that name here tonight. Josh Cruz, Frederick Chrisman, Flavio Cruz, and Daigo Laksh. And for the Foresters, they'll keep Foshi Patel, Drenth, Leyland Foster, Costa in goal, Dolobapu, Lemon, Reed Zamansky, João Ratinho, and Igor Barbieri. Foresters put together a lot of really promising attacks, and they'll look to get back into this match here in this second half. They had really solid attack throughout that entire first half, just trying to find a way to break through.
Absolutely, and all this game is one mishit from either team can open this game up in a completely different way. One deflection when you don't expect it can take it. So, I mean, soccer is the definition of a game of inches. So if you're the Foresters, hopefully those inches start to favor you. And if you're the Lancers, you hope that those inches keep favoring you, as I would say majority of the 50 calls have went towards the Lancers, especially that offsides one being the one that will be discussed after the game from both sides.
We will see if it has anything to do with the final score here tonight. If the Foresters will work hard to even this one up, and hopefully for HU it comes rather quickly. But we will see, as the Lancers have been one of the most stern defensive teams in the entire country this year. As coach, one of the assistant coaches, it appears, is having a discussion with one of the linesmen in front of the Forester bench. And once they're ready to roll, we'll be ready to roll.
Wish I had a microphone over there to hear what was being said between those two.
Zemansky lifts one forward right away for Barbieri. Gets ahead on it. Dolobapu almost snuck through that back line, but Grace quickly plays it away and keeps it in play for a moment, and now it's called over that sideline, and each will have a throw in.
If you're both teams, probably a little cold to start off. I mean, both body-wise and touch-wise, so you hope to get warmed up pretty quick before this game goes way too deep into the half. You hope to get your feet under you, the touches down quickly, and just feel back like you were in the first half, comfortable.
We do not see Sinkera out there as Dolobapu picks it up in the midfield. Wonderful run by Sam. One man to beat, and it's another save by Conchi as the Foresters once again had a huge opportunity.
Game of inches, just like I said there.
Dolobapu just couldn't get that final touch, but what an awesome one-man run there by Sam. So close to evening it up here early in the second half. Just feel like the Foresters are knocking on the door to getting their first goal of the night.
If you're Grace, you got to be being very thankful that things have gone your way. And I mean, for the Lancers themselves, they have to be understanding that that can't keep happening, because eventually if something like that happens again, it's bound to go against you. So you want to make sure that you fix those and you just keep going. And if you're the Foresters, you just, like he just said, Preston just said, you're just knocking at the door.
Sinkera not in the match, which is interesting to see if you're a Grace fan. He's one of the leading goal scorers in the entire conference, and he does have the one goal tonight, but right now he is not out on the pitch, so something to keep an eye on for the rest of this match.
Yeah, it came pretty quickly after scoring that first goal, so don't want to speculate anything about anything, but wonder what the reasoning was, and could be many different reasons.
Big chance here for Grace as they work it down the corner flag, and that one catches the attention of the Foresters back line, and they help the official that time call it out for a goal kick. Game's been very back and forth, a lot of stellar moments from both sides, but the one goal right now is the separation as Dolobapu rises up and tries to keep possession with Drent. That falls down to Zemansky, who's able to push it up to Coven. Tries to go to Patel, but Grace once again works it away. Lobo resets, works on the back line once again. 3 minutes gone in the second half. Best chance, only chance so far has been for the Foresters as that one's handled on the right side. Cruz trying to use that right hand to play it on, and that time gets caught. Those long balls, as Zach has called out all night, has been the choice of attack for Grace. They tried doing another one there as Foster touches it down. Cruz picks it up at the midfield.
Forster's doing a good job of getting 11 men back, just like you mentioned a lot earlier in the game, and just like that quick turnover, and the Foresters making sure that they get 11 back. Ball played across.
Cruz working on the right side. Cruz tried cutting it in. Still has it into the box. Nice run by him, plays it back behind to one of his teammates. Now Lee has it in the midfield, plays it over to Mora. Stepping in, Foster, Dolobapu trying to chase back, but 5 Grace Lancers surrounding him take it back off the foot of the freshman. Lee has created some good chances in the midfield, plays this one forward. Another opportunity for the Lancers, but then it's knocked out there on the back line. It looked like it was Foshi able to step in. Excuse me, that was Zemansky that got a foot on that.
Zemansky's had a very good game so far. Believe it might be his first start of the season, not too sure.
His first start is second match, so you're spot on, Zach.
Yes, and I mean, everything you can ask for. I mean, he's been there on balls in the air. Another ball played across here.
Cruz is taken down there, and That foul's going to be called, and now I think Barbieri went in there a little late, and Cruz now holding the back of his head. Not sure he was actually connected with on that one. But the foul was on Leland, and that'll set up an opportunity. As you see a replay there for a moment. Cruz seems to be all right. And a big chance off of a set piece here by the Lancers.
Guy out wide here on the right side of this ball. So I wonder if he'll come into play or if he's just a decoy here.
Chance for the Lancers to add on. Ball deflected in, and it's a goal. And they've doubled their lead right away out of halftime, and that's a big-time strike by the Lancers.
I believe that was deflected by Patel there, unfortunately.
Couldn't quite tell on that first replay, but the reaction might tell the story there from Patel. It's just flicked on goal and enough to get past Costa, and now HU's got a real uphill battle in front of them. See who gets rewarded for that goal on the live stats. It'll be a moment before those are updated. HU seems to lose a little wind out of their sails after that free kick goal from the Lancers. Two goals that really just probably could have been avoided too, which makes it more frustrating if you're a Forester fan.
Almost like a punch in the gut, just when you think you're creating things, you know, missed chance from, I believe it was Sam earlier in the first half, and doesn't go your way, and then they get not necessarily a lucky goal, but a goal that you would plan on not happening if you're the Foresters, and it's just deflating to hear.
Leland lobs it in for Ratinho. HU will have to work hard to get back into this match. Owen tries playing it on, and it's off the foot of Owen and out of play for a Grace throw-in. Now the Grace fans starting to rev up a little bit here at the away venue. Dolobapu trying to track back. Conchi will handle it at the goalkeeper spot, plays it out wide. Forester's adding a little pressure though as Dolobapu picks it up in the midfield. Plays it to the center to Ratinho, is looking for Patel. It falls back for Foster, and on a different page with, it looks like maybe,
Lemon?
I can't quite tell. It's a long ways over there. Lemon on the right side. And that's an unforced error there that time by Grace, and now HU has maybe a chance to take advantage.
If you're the Foresters, you want to get something back quick just to regain the wind in your sails as ball played in and caught by the keeper there. As I was saying, I mean, you want something to go your way, even it doesn't necessarily have to be a goal, but a foul or something where you get something promising from it, because, I mean, you want something to get your confidence back.
Still no update on that second goal, so we'll continue to monitor that. I don't know if it'll be considered an own goal since it was on frame, but I don't know exactly how that works, Zach, if Patel will be stuck with an own goal there or if they'll give it to Garcia, who ripped that one on frame. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Either way, it's 2-0 right now in favor of the Grace Lancers as Patel on the defensive side now has a little aggression shown against him and plays it out for a throw-in. We wait for that throw, and it is an own goal officially by Patel. So it will not be a Juan Garcia goal. Dilesh Patel a little unlucky as here's another chance for Grace, headed, and this time pushed away there as it looks like it was a foul on the Lancers. HU's had enough chances to score 2 goals, so definitely not over yet, but if Grace sneaks another one in, you start to think you might be out of luck here tonight in front of the home crowd.
Absolutely, and if you look at the Foresters bench, all the coaches are together talking. So, again, don't want to speculate on anything, but you imagine being down 2 and only having one person up top. That could be a lineup change or a substitution change, and foul called there against Balbareri. look to be holding them on the thing, but just want to see maybe the Foresters look to change something, or maybe, you know, they're talking right now and they agree that they've had enough chances and they want to keep what they're going.
We'll see what the change is for Coach Russ Austin's side. They've not played poorly just right now. They've been on the end of maybe, as mentioned, 2 goals that you don't normally see at the collegiate level. This one lofted in, headed away by Drenth. It's handled again, rocked, and on goal. Costa with the save, and then the putback is there, and good for the Lancers. Another chance taken, this time by Holwerda, and it's a 3-0 lead for the visitors. From his backside, just able to flick it into the goal with his right foot. Holwerda gets his 3rd goal of the year, just his 9th shot on the season. And that just might be too much of an uphill battle now for the Foresters throughout the rest of this match. Still 35 minutes left. Of course, the Foresters will absolutely not give up on this match, as they'll try to get back into this one. But right now, it's all Grace in this second half. The Lancers have done this to a handful of teams on the year. They are the number 4 team in the country. They've been running wild right now against this Forester defense.
If I had to say the theme of the game so far, it would be taking the chances that you have and doing well or not doing so well with them, as the Foresters have had many good chances and just haven't really finished them. And that's something that you have to have against a team of the caliber of Grace. And if you look at Grace, about the same amount of shot as the Foresters, and they've put 3 in the back of the net. So however the ball goes in the net, the ball went in the net 3 times for Grace, and it hasn't for the Foresters. So just got to start capitalizing if you're the Foresters, and you have to minimize the chances that Grace is going to get.
Yeah, it is 4 shots apiece, so it's not like it's been a game dominated by either side. But at the end of the day, it's a domination on the scoreboard right now as Grace is up 3-0. Foshi has to work against the back line. Big collision there with Lee. And that's going to be a free kick for the Foresters.
Good play by Foshi there. Is put the body between the defender and the ball, making sure that the contact is to him and not to the ball. Slipping there.
Drenth plays one over to Patel. He's able to pull it down after a nice touch with his chest. Plays it in the middle for Foster, who's able to run it down against the defense. Foster does lose possession, drops it back to Cruz for Grace, and now Ratinho applying a little extra pressure on the back line. And that forces an HU throw-in. Barbieri and Ratinho working together. Got a long ways to come back, but a couple of prolific goal scorers in possession for HU. Dolobapu keeps it alive. Sam trying to control. He's knocked down in the box, no penalty. And Grace back the other way on the attack. Walherda, who just scored that goal, looking to run it down. I should say Holwerda, excuse me. Couldn't quite get to that one.
Just going back to the thing earlier, I don't know if you said it, Preston, I might have missed it, but it is considered an own goal on the second goal.
It was Dilesh Patel that gets that own goal there, and that's 2 goals within 3 minutes of game time. It kind of feels like it seals the deal, but if HU can get one back quickly, you just never know how this one could go. Foresters will have to find a way to dig their way back out of this hole, as this one's played back to the back line once again. And Grace right now completely content with playing off the back line and not a ton of pressure coming from HU. Foresters will have to pick and choose when they want to rev up that attack. And right now, I think as you kind of called it out, that coaching staff discussing what changes needs to be made either to the shape or to the lineup to see if they can get back into this match.
Here's the first one walking. Can't tell who that is. We'll get to that when he comes in.
And it doesn't look like that was offsides there, but the main ref calling a foul on Grace, and Foshi will have a free kick. I'm telling you, it's not getting any warmer as the breeze has started to pick up, and it is blowing into the face of the Foresters here.
Absolutely. I mean, Preston, I'm not going to lie. I think my hands have been in my pockets since the game started, but especially now my legs are starting to bounce because it is freezing out, to say the least.
Yes, it's started to cool off, and next week it'll be 75 on Tuesday, so you just never know what you're going to get, especially during soccer season here at HU. Of course, played in the fall, bleeds almost into the winter. I know that when the Crossroads League tournament comes around, I've been in at basketball games as a fan before and think, how is the soccer team out there playing through this? But you got some tough guys that are trying to win a conference championship, and right now Foresters are going to have to be tough to get back into this match. Pressure continues to be applied by the Lancers. Drenth on the back line being chased by the Grace attack. Barbieri rises up. He's knocked down. Ratinho collects with Borges in the middle. Now Sam Dolobapu picks it up. Barbieri and Costa working on the left side. Too big of a touch there by Tiago. And Grace now just trying to play keep away on the back line, and they'll have to play it out for another Forester throw in.
If you're Grace, that's a person you're familiar with. And sorry, foul there just outside the box, I believe. Preston, so, you can take over here.
Yeah, big chance for HU now, as they have a chance to step up and maybe score off a free kick as you see that foul. And HU has been close to successful on a couple of set pieces. I mean, this one is nearly teed up right outside the box, and we have seen Sam Dolobapu score some stellar free kick goals. We'll see if he's the one taking it here.
Looks like he is standing over this. You also have Tiago there.
Sam rips it right off the face of the defender, and Halwerda, who just scored that goal, was feeling a lot better a few moments ago.
Absolutely. I mean, that is a beautiful block by him, because if the keeper is not getting there with the pace and the stuff, and the only chance he has is a block there, and took it. And as a coach, if you're Coach Patrick there, you just got to love it.
Little bicycle kick here from Igor Barbieri. Couldn't get enough on it. And it's another chance gone away for HU. This would have been one you would have seen in the morning, eating breakfast on Sports Center, but couldn't get enough pace on it as Foshi has to play it back towards Costa, and he's able to come and collect. I feel like it's always a dream to be on the Sports Center top 10 plays, right?
Absolutely. It is not a dream, though, to be on the not top 10.
Yeah, that's fair. Don't want any of that. There has been one Huntington Forester on Sports Center top 10 play.
Really?
It was Shane Merriman back in the day. Hit a like 75-foot game winner in the old Platt Arena. I was in the stands just freaking out. Craziest thing I've ever seen, live at least. This one's played away, and it sounded like a deflection, and it was. It's Grace's ball. Can't say enough about Grace's athletic program. They've been solid in nearly every single sport this season. Their men's basketball team and women's basketball team are both going to be dynamite. So they continue to build a really strong program and stay consistent. Throw down the right side. Zemansky going to run it down and play it out into the construction area. That'll give the players a little bit of time to rest up. As Chrisman plays it in. Long ball lifted over the top. Camera giving it a run and able to track it down. Garcia on the backside for Grace. Andre was there to defend. It's knocked out of play, and that'll allow the first sub of the second half for Grace to step in.
Wind picking up a little here, so we'll see how this goes into effect as well.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy wind games here at King Stadium already this year. A women's game earlier in the year where it seemed like if you were going one way, the ball would not go more than 20 yards in the air. So I don't know if it'll be that extent, but right now, if it does, the Foresters are playing against the pace of the wind currently.
If you're the Foresters, you have to take that accountability on long balls, and especially the ones in the air, because the wind will kill it with the air resistance on the ball. So if you're going to play them hard and long, you're going to have to put extra on it. And if you're the Lancers, everything you put in the air, you want to just hit a little bit shorter and not as hard, so it goes to them.
Morgan loses possession with camera. Foster finds it in the middle. We'll work with Sam Dolobapu, who cuts it in and finds a streaking Forester down the right side. Camera into Barbieri. Now a chance for Ratinho. Rips one, just misses the inside part of the post. It was tapped away, so it'll be a Forester corner. That looked like the chance. Had to have been saved there by Conchi. I didn't see that initially, but I don't think there was any other deflection, and what a big-time stop by the goalkeeper once again for Grace.
He's been incredible tonight. That's his fourth save that, I mean, is remarkable to say the least.
Foresters will play on here as Camara shows off the speed. Costa inside of the foot across the front of the goal. The game's starting to liven up, but the Foresters still yet to connect. HU is starting to pile up the chances. They just cannot get one to go. And right now it's a comfortable 3-0 lead for Grace. I mean, those are back-to-back plays that could have been goals for HU.
Absolutely, and story of the night is game of inches here, and another ones that inches just aren't going the Foresters' way tonight.
Looked like a yellow card there, I believe, on Zemansky.
Got a little too aggressive on the back there on the counterattack, which is probably the reason it was yellow. It was a counterattack and was the kill of something promising.
It's pretty typical that you'll see a yellow card in that scenario. Zemansky, it looked like, was telling the official that's really the first time I found all night, but for him, it didn't matter on that occasion. Get back into play here. HU has started to really get something going on the attack again, just looking for that final touch. They've been just several feet, inches away from at least scoring one in this match, but each time it's been Conchi who's been there to deny that opportunity. Foshi working with Camera, who still has it, now loses possession in the middle, but he's fouled. Will get a free kick. Now 5 saves for Conchi on the night, and he just has been really excellent in goal.
I mean, there is a reason that Grace is getting scored on very little, and you look here tonight, haven't given up much, about 4 shots, I believe Preston said, and the shots that they have given up have been handled, and for whatever team you're supporting, you're either absolutely thrilled with that or you just are hanging your head in the "are you kidding me" mentality.
And it feels like that right now from this Forester crowd. They've been up to the occasion. They've been loud and cheering on their side, but just haven't found a way to sneak in as the Foresters nearly avoid another chance for Grace. Zemansky will get a free kick. Foresters trying to play quick. This one lifted towards Costa, who's able to keep it in down the left side. He now cuts in. Tiago looking for some options. He's knocked down, and the referee actually stopped the play. Borges was continuing to push the pace. It looks like it might be a card for Grace. And we're waiting to see who it'll be on. It's going to go on Chrisman there. That yellow card, the first of the night. But Borges and the rest of the Forester attack were not happy. He could have played advantage, and the Foresters were nearly in.
I mean, that's probably what, I mean, I would imagine their arguing is, I laid that ball off in open space, and the one time they call the foul is when we have possession. I mean, it is a foul, don't get me wrong. The referee is absolutely right on seeing that it's a foul, but I mean, the ball falls right to somebody's feet, and would you rather have this free kick, or you can make the argument that you'd rather have the dribbling shot towards closer to the goal. So, I mean, referee sees it one way, players see it the other way. It's just one of those unfortunate things.
And that's one of those situations you just hope the official would play it on and then stop it if need be. But Borges was running right on goal. Instead, HU will have another chance from a free kick. Thiago Costa rips one, and Conchi able to get in front of it, almost blocked it like a catcher and kept it out of goal. Now 6 saves on the night for him. Conchi taking his time, as any smart goalkeeper would do. Lofts it forward. Zamansky rises up, plays it right to Dolo Bapu. Costa now plays on, Costa plays on Barbieri. Igor showing off the footwork, cuts it into the 18-yard box. It's knocked out for another HU corner. This game still has some life if the Foresters can just get one back.
Absolutely, there's enough time, but there's not enough time to waste opportunities. And just like I mentioned earlier at the very beginning of the game, the corners are something that you have to, at this point, pretty much get a shot on target, make the keeper save it.
Here's the chance, ripped in low, and trying to flick it on was Ratinho. And that goes out for an HU throw-in. Camera drops off for Dolo Bapu, low liner in, falls to Foster off the back line. Dolo Bapu goes to Borges. He clips one over the top to Costa, they're onside. Thiago, left-footed cross, low cross in, Ratinho keeps alive, Foster steps up, still has it in the box, drops it off for a Forester at the top of the box. That was Drenth, couldn't get a shot. Dolo Bapu cutting through, and finally Grace pushes it away, and now they can attack with Cruz.
That's exactly the counter I was talking about.
Cruz going right at Foshi on the back line, cuts it to the left foot, still dribbling, and now plays it off to the left. Foshi runs it down and knocks it out for a Grace throw-in. Cruz covered about 80 yards on his own there, but didn't lead to a shot for the Lancers.
I mean, there's a reason that Grace is the number 4 team in the nation, and when they bend, they don't break. They've been many times in this game and have had many chances for the Foresters, and I'll cut this off as the ball is played.
This one's going to be kept in play by the Foresters' defense as Foshi pulls it down right on the end line and then tries to find a teammate. Lancers collect right around the corner flag, and now it's knocked out for an HU throw-in deep in Grace territory. 20 minutes to go. Foresters have to find a way to get 3.
As is what I was saying earlier, they don't break. Giving up many close chances there, and then right away they go and counterattack and get a pretty good look out of it. I mean, no shot, but good possession.
Chance in the middle here for Grace as the overlapping run's a good one by the Lancers. Trying to work inside the 18-yard box on the right side, drop it back. And that's Montez who had a chance, but then completely resetting things for Grace was Lobo. Morgan, his back line for Grace is, as you mentioned, they've been bent a little bit, but they have not broke at all, and that's kind of their style of play as Zamansky picks it up. Zamansky was looking for Thiago Costa, could not connect, and now another chance for Grace to run back towards the Forester defense, and Zamansky there to knock it out. I know the result might be disappointing tonight, but you can't feel horrible about this match if you're HU. I mean, you're so close to being tied before the half, and then so close to tying it immediately after the half, and then a couple of goals go against you, might be unlucky. And overall, I just think the Foresters' game plan and the way they've covered that game plan tonight has been pretty solid.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're Coach Russ and you get this game again, I don't really see the argument of changing anything. I mean, the formation has worked. I mean, they've had 4 shots. Unfortunately, they've scored 3. But if you tell him before the game that this number 4 team in the nation, Grace, is only going to get 4 shots with 20 minutes to go in the second half, I mean, he'd be thrilled. And unfortunately, 75% of those have gone in.
Yep, they've just found a way to sneak them past Costa as they'll have another chance to attack down the right side. That's been their favorite spot here. Driven in, another deflection. Costa will step up, and nearly another chance for Grace to get in front of the net. Long ball forward. Ratinho pulls it down, now runs alongside Tiago Costa, who tried cutting it back in for Zhao. Instead, it's a battle for the ball, and it's going to be a Forester throw-in again. HU wants to work quick. Foresters using the strength of Igor Barbieri right on the outside of the box. Couple of defenders chasing after him. Deep ball played out towards Ratinho, and intercepting it was the Lancers.
Good step by Drent there as the counter was looking, very open on the backside. And Foshi's had to cut over to cover the middle, and very good step there.
It'll be another throw in for Grace as they continue to be really successful here in this match. They have had less chances, but they've taken big chances when they've got them. As Borges is looking for Tiago Costa again down the left side. Tiago gets on the end of it, tries tapping it a little further into the box, but then runs out of room. Costa hasn't played a ton of minutes, but I feel like he's been really promising when he's been in there so far tonight, creating a lot of chances, and he did score the goal in the first half that was disallowed. So he's been a nice substitute here tonight for Coach Lawson's side.
Absolutely, and I also agree that, not agree necessarily, but I also would like to add Borges has been very good tonight. He's came in and back-to-back balls were the ones that played to Tiago by Borges, and I think that is just something that can't go unnoticed.
Both those subs have been really successful here tonight. See if they can connect for a goal. Borges over to Camera, who's also been fairly solid in his limited time. Plays it up to Barbieri, now back in the middle. Forsters flick it on. Ratinho tried getting to that right foot, nearly falls to Camera, who now has possession once again. Andre working hard against a couple of defenders for Grace, and it goes out for a Grace throw-in.
I have to give credit to the Forester faithful here. Still beating on the drum, still hitting their boomsticks together.
I think you were able to get some of the boomsticks tonight if you made a donation, right? Is that right?
Yes, I believe it was empty, or I think it was canned soup. Sorry, not empty.
Gotcha.
It'd be pretty pointless if it was empty, but I believe it was canned soup, and it was something about ending hunger, I would imagine, and I don't remember the exact foundation or anything it was for, but it was something about ending hunger. And just one of the many things that we take for granted here is we have, as much as we complain about the DC food sometimes, I mean, people are very blessed. We are very blessed to have that.
Yeah, another good cause here by HU as this university continues to provide a lot of opportunities for people across the world and their students as well, as this is a mostly student-run broadcast here tonight. Foresters back in transition. Drenth, I think, was trying to play that in the middle to Barbieri. Played it a little too heavy across the middle of the pitch, and he ran out of room. HU's got to find a way to start clicking here within the last 15 minutes of this match. Even one goal would feel not like a success tonight, but would give you something to look forward to heading into the next match.
If you're the Foresters, there's things that, despite how this game ends, you look at and say, you know what, we were equal shots almost, equal chances with the number 4 team in the nation. And then if you're the Lancers, you look at it as, you know, we didn't play arguably our best game, I would imagine, but we still found out a way to win, and great teams find a way to win when things don't necessarily go the best that they can.
And it looks like Grace should win this match tonight. If they do, they'll move to 6-0-1, and they'll remain in first within the Crossroads League. So they continue to just be a really steady team and something to watch throughout the rest of the season. They might be a team that is fighting for a national championship spot down the road.
Absolutely.
Back in play here, the Foresters want to at least build something heading into their next match, and we'll see if they can do so. HU trying to find a balance. Costa has had a really nice second half as he plays it back to a new player in for the Foresters as the changes continue to be made. Clay Wieringa, I believe, is how we're going to say it. Haven't seen him a ton tonight, but he's getting a chance here with 13 minutes left in the match. Little chat here with Costa and a couple of the Grace players. It's Sugars that was getting involved. Forester players never back down from sticking up for their teammates, and we see that again here tonight.
And if you're the Lancers, you are very happy with how, I don't have the name next to me, but number 15 handled that, as it is late in the game and there's no reason to do something stupid that can cost you your next game when you're at the top of the table, you know.
Long ball sent forward. Another chance for Grace to get on the attack here. That is Sincara that is back in. Remember, he scored the first goal earlier and hasn't been really back in at all in this second half, but now Sincara back in the game. Lofted ball sent ahead. Jonathan Ruiz knocks it forward to Ratinho. Ball played forward as HU starting to empty the bench here a little bit, give some different people opportunities. Shane Renshaw, who's been playing in recent matches, in there as well. Lofted ball sent forward, headed away by Morgan. Waringa plays it forward towards Ratinho. It's kept away by Grace, as they're not done attacking quite yet.
No, and you never want to take the foot off the pedal. And, you know, especially with soccer, and you'll hear it in many other sports, once you start playing to not lose instead of playing to win, a lot could change. You know, you lose your offensive attack, and then you get so worried about defense that you don't see the chances, and then one bad play, and you know it's a whole different game. So you never want to stop playing to win, and make sure you don't start playing not to lose.
Borges to Ratinho, good chance. Ratinho blocked away again. Second chance off the crossbar and out of the goal. Two straight wonderful shots for HU, and they still can't find a way to get it to go. Last ditch effort by Morgan on the back line keeps the Foresters out again, and just a head scratcher here tonight for HU and these Forester fans. Almost doesn't even make sense at this point. See if they can change their luck with this corner. It's swung in. Borges will pick it up. He's going to play a low ball in towards the box. Grace collects, and they have a chance to run back the other way. And running out of room are the Lancers. Borges drops it off to Waringa. Pedro picks it back up, and he's fouled on the left side. Game has been fun to watch despite not going the Foresters' way. Can't take anything away from what HU and the effort has been here tonight. Left-footed cross towards Costa. It's headed away by the back line of the Lancers once again.
Bend, don't break.
It's been the story all night long for this side. HU trying to create another chance here. 10 minutes left in the match. Renshaw off to the right side, plays a low ball in. It's kept away by Grace, and now Sikara is knocked down, and that's going to be a foul on the Foresters, and Sikara sets that one up nicely. See if the Foresters can get one here, but it's another big chance down the left side for Grace as they've got it back into the box. Played across the front of the 18-yard box. Chance ripped in. Costa able to lean out and knock that one away, as I believe that was Maxime Brachon stepping in and hitting that one on goal. Opportunities starting to become a little more accessible for the Lancers at this point, and that probably has something to do with HU putting more men forward. We'll see if Grace can add on or if HU can maybe try to get back in this match a little bit. Ball over across the way, right around the corner flag. HU trying to just stay tough over these last several minutes of the match. This one played forward. Borges knocks it away. Picked up in the middle for HU. They'll head back the other way as Ruiz just pulls down the Grace player. That'll be another foul on the Foresters as Paul Werda went down easily and the referee agreed. If you look forward at the schedule for the Foresters, I believe they'll be back in action on Wednesday night. They did have a week-long break this week as they were at Mount Vernon last Saturday. That's a long travel day when you go over to Mount Vernon. And for Grace, they're not too far away from home tonight, but they'll head back, it looks like, on the smiling side of the scoreboard this evening. HU still trying to apply pressure and keep this one in. Once again, Grace plays it forward. Puk Liang, who's back in the match, tries finding Borges. It's kept in, and John will step up, tried to find a midfielder. Grace had a chance to run there. It was 4v2, but it's knocked out. Only 2 regular season games remain for the Foresters. Indiana Wesleyan Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. and then back here next Saturday against Marion will be the last regular season game. We'll see where the Foresters are seated in the Crossroads League tournament. And once you get there, anything can happen.
You were talking about the next game against Indiana Wesleyan, and Tiago looks to be limping.
Definitely don't want to see that if you're a Forester coach right now, already short-handed tonight.
As I was saying, looking at the future, they play Indiana Wesleyan, who, when you're within this Crossroads League, no game is ever easy, but another top, I believe they're 15, but I'm very positive that they're top 20. So I'll go for sure with top 20 team in the nation again. That will definitely not be easy, to say the least.
Yeah, it's just like that nonstop, really, in every sport in this conference. I mean, it's just a really, really talented conference, and that's a big foul there by Grace. And now the Foresters trying to stand up for one of their teammates, and that is a really bad foul from behind camera there. I'd expect at least a yellow on this one, and that's kind of the chippiness that starts to pick up here as Camera gets taken down while dribbling from behind. And we'll see what the ref's decision is. That's something that you could see called a red sometimes. Maybe not in this scenario, but it'll be just a yellow. And Camera and the player who committed the foul, Xiao Sousa, I should say, just receives a yellow.
I mean, I don't want to say with certainty, but if you're the Foresters, I mean, you almost wonder how that isn't a red card. I mean, there's no play on the ball there. He's behind him. And, I mean, luckily there's no ankle injury, but, I mean, he went down grabbing his ankle. I mean, you look at that, and, yes, it wasn't an obvious goal-scoring opportunity where most reds come into play. But there's no play on the ball, behind the player, and, I mean, didn't even come close to hitting the ball, and it took him that long to even pull out a yellow. I mean, just...
It's a frustrating match here tonight for HU as they'll continue to apply the pressure. I mean, this team is not going to give in as they continue to try to keep it alive, but it does go out for another Grace throw-in.
And I don't want to go on record saying that it should have been a red.
No.
But the Foresters have to be asking.
Yeah, you definitely see something like that called a red in certain situations, and like we said, the refs have an extremely hard job. But just still some question marks throughout this match. And, you know, maybe Grace would say the same exact thing. So it's a change in net for the Foresters as it looks like Costa will step out of net for HU. Back the other way comes Grace. And HU with their third string goalie in now. Actually, I think it is Dan Pellegrini, excuse me, in goal. Just kind of trying to check the stats here really quickly.
I believe it is Paul.
Okay, it's Paul Socha, excuse me. Couldn't quite tell from back here, but you are correct. So Socha in the match. And just a lot of different guys getting opportunities here tonight, which is always nice to see. Of course, the scenario is not what the Foresters fans would want, but a big chance for some other guys to maybe get a few crucial touches and see if they can provide something fun in one of their first few minutes of the year.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Russ Lawson right now, you're pretty much looking for a number 2 keeper right now, as Dan is dealing with a head injury. I'm not going to disclose what it is necessarily or if it is certain what it is yet, but something that, you know, he might not be available next Wednesday. And you need to make sure that you're confident if something goes the way you need a number 2 keeper to have something like that.
Nabulare in as well. Alex Owanowski, another player joining the party for HU, as Nabulare pushes it right up to Owanowski right away. Working across the middle with Borges. And over to Camera on the right side. Another good chance for HU. Lifted in towards Nabulare. Back line slide and a big opportunity again for HU. And Owanowski just couldn't get that vital touch. Opportunities like this all night long just have not found the back of the net for HU.
If you're the Foresters that are, I mean, fans, coaches, you have to be asking, what can we do at this point to finish it? I mean, there are so many shots that 9 out of 10 times these players are scoring, and just none of them have scored tonight, and you just can't help but ask, what is going on?
Moringa does a nice job playing it down the left side. Tries to go in the middle. Owanowski's knocked down. That'll be a foul again on Grace. 3 minutes left in the match.
If you're both sides, you definitely don't want injuries in this scenario. I mean, this is what some sports would call garbage time, you know, not really looking like there's going to be a different winner than what is already looking like. And neither team wants any more fouls, any cards that would affect people's eligibility in the upcoming games, or injuries or anything like that. So you just want to make sure that if you're the coaches, the players are playing smart and safe.
Last 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Take a look at some stats from one of the last times here tonight. It wasn't a dominant game on the stat sheet. HU actually outshot the Grace Lancers 9-5, 7 on goal, and they forced 7 saves from Mateo Conchi, and he's just been rock solid on that back line tonight and in the net. And for Grace, 5 shots, 4 on goal, and it's just that efficiency that has been good enough tonight for the Lancers. This one knocked out, and Nabulare, the last to touch it, and Grace gonna try to burn away this clock.
I mean, if you're looking for a player of the game, you would have to give it to the Grace keeper.
Diaz called for a foul there as the freshman uses right forearm, maybe a little too much. No question about that call.
Yep, I mean, hard to argue that one.
So maybe Grace looks to add one more here as Mora stands over it.
But I mean, as I was saying earlier, sorry, I'll finish this play first.
Mora rips one into the center of the box, headed away by Ruiz. Moringa steps up, knocks it away. Go ahead, Zach.
As a little stoppage here, I mean, the Grace keeper has been up for every challenge. Close shots, long shots, divings. I mean, he literally saved one essentially on the ground on that Dolabapu first one of the half. I mean, saved it pretty much under him like a hockey goalkeeper. And I mean, he's one of the reasons that this game is not 4-3, 3-3, 2-3, you know. And all credit to him.
Another chance for Grace, but they're called off sides there. And just half a minute left. As this one's sent forward, Nabulare gives it a look, but it's going to run out of room, and that should be all she wrote on this one. HU battles hard all night long, but It's just Grace who continues to dominate within the Crossroads League, still undefeated on the year, now 6-0-1. Foresters outshoot the Lancers, but at the end of the day, it's a 3-0 victory on the scoreboard, and they continue to be rock solid as one of the top teams in the nation. Any final thoughts, Zach, before we shut this one down?
A lot of, I mean, with a bitter taste in my mouth to say, a lot of goods to come from this. Unfortunately, those goods weren't good enough, and that's why they're goods, not grades. I mean, you have to finish those chances. I mean, that's the bottom line, and unfortunately, the players all know that, and I'm not going to harp on it, but I mean, the bottom line is when you come to a team like Grace, you have to finish the chances. Grace isn't going to give you the chances that are wide open, you know. You have to earn them, and you do earn them, but you have to finish them, and that's the story of the night. Grace finishes their chances, has less shots, they put up 3. The Foresters have many chances, put up 0, and they lose.
Frustrating night for the Foresters, but at the end of the day, they continue to make strides, and Coach Russ Lawson showed a lot of heart tonight, just outmatched by a really solid Grace College side.
Last thing I'd like to add is, as Preston said earlier, thank you to everybody behind the scenes and making this whole thing possible. I mean, it couldn't be done without you guys.
Yeah, a tremendous crew here tonight. Great camera work, great replay, great directing and producing, and we want to thank all the HU students for working hard here tonight. We'll be back on the air next week a lot. We've got soccer, volleyball, women's basketball, men's basketball, all on deck on FDN Sports. For Zachary Sparks, I'm Preston Husband. We'll talk to you next time.
Catch and fire. It's on the... He made it!